Vinny the Tasmanian Devil Pazienza.
Vinny Pazienza is known for his heart and courage. He's come back from a near-fatal car accident and now has a shot to win his third world championship. He's won 9 straight fights since doctors told him his career was over and hasn't lost a fight in 4.5 years. But he says there's more than just guts to his boxing. There are the skills to win another world title. Vinny Pazienza, the Tasmanian Devil, challenges Roy Jones Jr. for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Roy Jones Jr. is considered by many to be the best fighter pound for pound in the world today. A decisive win over James Toney last November earned him star recognition and a second world title. He has great hand speed and superb moves and plenty of power. He's approaching the superstar level, and a few more dominant performances will put him there. But Roy Jones Jr. knows that won't be easy to do against Vinny Pazienza. The Tasmanian Devil is a big underdog, with not many people giving him a chance. But Vinny Pazienza has beaten the odds before, and he says he'll do it again against Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., the man who was denied a gold medal in the 1988 Olympics, but as a pro has won a World Middleweight Championship and the IBF Super Middleweight Championship, and now wants to be known as the best. It's the Devil and Mr. Jones tonight. They're on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, outside the convention center, where tonight the IBF Super Middleweight Championship is on the line as Roy Jones Jr. defends for the second time since winning the title against James Toney against the Tasmanian Devil, Vinny Pazienza. Roy Jones Jr. 28-0 with 24 knockouts. Vinny Pazienza 40-5. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Atlantic City. I'm Sam Rosen, and we have an exciting night of championship boxing coming your way. A lot of people feel this could be a one-sided fight. Roy Jones Jr. with his speed and footwork and power against Vinny Pazienza, a 12-year veteran who is staging a remarkable comeback. Vinny Pazienza, 11-0 since December of 1990, but remarkably 9-0 since being involved in a car accident which threatened his life, in which he suffered 2 broken vertebrae in his neck, after which doctors said he would never fight again. Here in Atlantic City, he's 17-2, and in the Northeast, he's 35-2, and he's brought a large contingent with him from Cranston, Rhode Island. But it's hard to find anyone outside of the Pazienza camp who gives the Tasmanian Devil a chance to win tonight. Vinny Pazienza, however, believes he can and will win tonight's fight. He feels he has the right plan to do it. We'll see if he can carry through. Roy Jones Jr. likes the way it sounds when people refer to him as the best fighter pound for pound in the world today. It's a man who was voted the most valuable fighter in the 1988 Seoul Olympics, despite the fact that he did not win the gold medal in a very controversial final. He is 4-0 and 2 knockouts in championship fights. He won the middleweight championship a couple of years ago over Bernard Hopkins, and then last November, in a stunning win, he decisively defeated the previously unbeaten James Toney to win the super middleweight championship. He defended last March in his hometown of Pensacola, Florida, and won over Antoine Bird in 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the first round. We have a good undercard as well for you tonight. The IBF Cruiserweight Championship is on the line with Al Cole making his 4th title defense. There'll be a rematch against Uriah Grant. In his first title defense, he faced Uriah Grant, and Al Cole won a unanimous decision. It could be his last fight as a cruiserweight. Big Al Cole, who stands 6'5", is looking to step up into the heavyweight division for bigger fights and bigger money. Also on the card, #1 welterweight contender Larry Barnes, who's scheduled to fight Felix Trinidad for the World Welterweight Championship in August on the Tyson undercard, will put his record on the line against Jeff Passero, and we will open the evening's festivity with a 12-round bout for the NABF, the North American Boxing Federation Featherweight Championship, with the veteran Harold Warren going against an understudy of Roy Jones Jr., Derrick Gainer. Well, throughout championship nights, there's a lot of chaos and mayhem, and here to put some order to it all is the men who will be calling all the boxing action tonight. Let's go to ringside to Al Bernstein and Dave Bontempo.
Thank you, Sam. The excitement already starting to build here at ringside. We are delighted to be here. And Dave, this is a fight, Pazienza against Jones, that it seems has taken longer to get underway than we even expected.
The talk began really full focus when Pazienza was fighting Roberto Duran the second time in January. Roy Jones came to that fight, began posturing. Pazienza won that night. Jones won the next month. Here we are.
Yeah, and we're happy to be here. Now, Sam pointed out that we have a good undercard for you. And yes, that first one of Harold Warren, who's the NABF featherweight champion, against young Derrick Gainer. Warren is a veteran of 34. Gainer is a 22-year-old. There you see Harold, who is really a fine southpaw pressure fighter. This is Derrick Gainer, though, stepping up in really class and quality.
It's time for Gainer to find out how good he is. Warren, the crafty southpaw, can pick you apart, go in and out. He's dismantled many a young fighter. Gainer coming in, he taught Roy Jones some of the dirty tricks that Roy Jones says he has. He calls him his dirty trick coach.
Yeah, and Derrick Gainer, a youngster, as you see him there, who will need everything he has in terms of height and reach, and he has that against Harold Warren to try and pull this fight out tonight, because Harold has fought for a world title twice, came very close to winning it. He is, in fact, one of the top featherweights in the world today. Well, we are happy to be with you, but there is also another member of our team. John Saraceno will be in the locker rooms, visiting with all the fighters behind the scenes. Let's go to John right now.
Thanks, Al. Roy, it's very unusual for a fighter of your caliber to be out at a non-main event before his own main event goes on. Is that a little nerve-wracking for you to be out there?
No, it's not nerve-wracking. It actually makes me feel very comfortable because you get to go out and familiarize yourself with the scene. So this is something that I've done my entire career, and it's nothing strange to me, so it doesn't bother me.
Now, you told us earlier today that Derrick "Smoke" Gainer actually helped motivate you to fight Vinny Pazienza, that early on you were having a hard time getting into it. How did he help get you into the fight?
Well, you know, he by him being in the gym and knowing the fact that I had gotten him an NABF title shot made me want to see him do better. And the only way to make him do better is for him to see me train hard. So he sees me train hard, he'll train extra hard because he wants to be able to try to keep up with me. And that gave me motivation to where I would go out and perform at my peak every day.
Now, some fighters before a big fight, they like calm, quiet in their dressing room, but I noticed the gang from Pensacola, Florida, you guys like noise, the rap music, the boom boxes. You like people coming in and wishing you good luck. How do you explain that part of your psyche?
Well, we don't care about the people coming in and wishing us good luck. I mean, we thank them for it, but we ain't into talking, just having a conversation. We into getting hyped, getting motivated, making ourselves get right. The beat usually put us in the frame of mind to where we want to perform, show up, and, we want to be having a little that, yeah, and then you can roll out, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks a lot, Roy. Back to Sam.
Thanks, John. John will be patrolling the locker room area throughout the evening. Roy Jones Jr. in just a couple of hours, he'll be defending against Vinny Pazienza. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our opening bout. It's Harold Warren, 32-7 with 14 knockouts, a 10-year veteran against a 5-year veteran. Derrick Gainer, 13-3, 7 knockouts. The age, Gainer much younger than Harold Warren. Height, Gainer 5'9", Harold Warren, the little guy at 5'3.5". Weight is even at 126. The decided reach advantage to Gainer. It is a battle of southpaws. It'll be fought under the NABF rules, 10-point must system with 3 judges at ringside scoring it. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. 3 knockdowns in any one round will end the fight. There is no standing 8 count. The bell cannot save a boxer in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. And if the fight is stopped because of an accidental foul, they'll go to the scorecards after 3 rounds. Getting set for the boxing action. Let's go back to ringside to Al Bernstein and Dave Bontempo. Al?
Thank you, Sam. And we want to, as you take a look at Harold Warren, the veteran, let's remind you that our records tonight are brought to you by Ring, the Bible of Boxing. And in fact, as you look at Harold Warren, this 34-year-old is 32-7 with 14 KOs. He has had an excellent career, maybe one of the best around without winning a world title. And young Derrick Gainer across the ring, the 22-year-old from Pensacola, Florida, the protege of Roy Jones, has a 13-3 record with 7 KOs. And now, to give us all the particulars in the center of the ring, let's go to Michael Buff.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Atlantic City's Convention Hall, where tonight, Square Ring Promotions, New Contenders Boxing in the New Jersey Casino Association, along with your undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present an evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. All the bouts tonight are sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Al Daniels, Deputy Commissioner Lawrence Wallace, Chief Physician at ringside Dr. Frank B. Doggett, attending physicians Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr. and Dr. Eric Wormser. The timekeeper for all the bouts will be Lindsay Tucker. This first bout is sanctioned by the North American Boxing Federation, supervisor at ringside Don Hazelton. The three judges scoring this contest on a 10-point must system are John Stewart, Al DeVito, and Sean Curtin. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Rudy Battle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Junior Lightweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trimmed with white, and weighing in at 126 pounds. From Pensacola, Florida, he brings a record of 13-3, 7 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Derrick Smoke Gainer. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black, trimmed with gold letters, and weighing in also at 126 pounds. From Corpus Christi, Texas, his professional record, 34 victories, 14 by KO against 7 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the NABF Junior Lightweight Champion, Harold the Texas Hurricane Warren.
Okay, gentlemen, you've both received your pre-fight instructions. I expect a clean break at all times. Watch your low blows. Any questions in here? All right, let's have a nice, clean contest. Good luck to both of you. Let's touch it.
We are set to go.
The NABF Featherweight
Michael Buffer makes that correction. It is for the NABF Featherweight title, and that's the man that has it. Harold Warren, 34-year-old veteran. He is a blue-collar worker, a guy that many people admire in boxing, and the youngster across the way from him, Derrick Smoke Gainer, at 22, would very much like to begin a career that would be similar to Harold Warren. They're both lefties. Odd for us to see two lefties. And Dave, they are very different in their styles, physiques, and approach to the sport.
And of course, one big reason for that is that Warren has been around so much longer and fought many of the top guys throughout his career, while Gainer is trying to establish himself. That's one big factor right off the bat.
There's Harold Warren going downstairs to the body. If you've never seen Harold fight, he is a boxer who mixes his attack as well as anyone. He'll work the body and the head. And against this tall guy, you would think he'd start with the body.
Sort of reminds you at times of a 90s version of Harold Brazier. In this division, basically a very good mechanic, but opponents see him fight, think they can beat him, and he's never a shortage for opponents.
No, he really isn't. In 1994, he fought 9 times. In fact, in 94, he won 3 fights within a 22-day period. So he is busy, you're right. You and I haven't even called 3 fights within a 22-day period. Well, maybe.
Maybe we should talk to him about getting more business.
Let's get Harold to be our agent.
Hey, you know, with the opposing southpaw styles, throws out some of the conventional wisdom about how to fight the southpaw with the lead right hands, the double left hooks. It's almost like going back and watching 2 righties fight.
That's exactly right. Warren is trying to press the attack. Gainer wants to use the jab on the outside, and he'll try and counterpunch Warren as he comes in. Gainer at 13-3 has certainly not faced as experienced opposition as Harold Warren has.
And doesn't come in with the momentum on his record that Warren has. What he does have is the sparring with Roy Jones Jr., which he figures can make up for a lot. How much experience that can give him will be shown tonight.
Harold Warren has only lost once in the last 2 years, and that was against Freddie Liberatore. You and I were both around for that fight. That was a fight I didn't even think Harold Warren lost.
But like the true veteran he was, he just bounced back and kept on winning. That could have psychologically buried a lot of fighters.
Good left hand from the outside by Gainer. When he keeps Warren on the outside, you can see he has a big advantage.
He's got the 5-inch reach advantage, and you saw an example there of how to utilize it and the advantage which comes when a fighter does utilize it.
This is the best I have seen Gainer box ever. He is really moving well and against a fighter who is a very good pressure fighter. But let's remind people, if they haven't seen Harold Warren, he is usually a slow starter.
Warren has had his eyes on the body attack from the outset.
A lot of movement from Gainer. That was his plan. So Derrick Gainer has boxed very effectively here in round 1 and made Harold Warren a little tentative.
You've waited 4 years for this. The fighter of the decade. The boxing event of the year. On August 19th, guess who's back? The return of Mike Tyson. Tyson versus McNeely, Saturday, August 19th, live on pay-per-view.
$49.95 before midnight, August 17th.
It's hot off the grill. The Keg 69 Classic Camaro Contest. To get your share of the action, just visit the Keg and sink your teeth into a juicy keg steak or cool down with a refreshing Lipton Original Iced Tea. Fill out a ballot and enter it into the specially marked ballot box. Then, dream about your chance to win this classic beauty. Or you could win a free cake dinner during the Keg 69 Classic Camaro Contest. It's hot.
This month, when it comes to baseball, this is where the big games are.
For 41 for 29%. Warren 7 for 37. That number might be deceiving, being that he did go to the body and landed some sharper punches inside.
So, close first round, one of which maybe Derrick Gainer got the edge with his boxing skills. This 22-year-old came in with a 13-3 record, which is a good one. However, he had lost 2 key fights in 1994 to Greg Torres and to Roberto Garcia. Both lost in 10. The Garcia fight, he had Garcia down in that fight. That was the first time Garcia had ever been down. Gainer tired a little bit toward the end of that fight.
And Warren is going to try to make that a factor in this bout here. He's been 12 rounds so many times, and he's got the title. He's comfortable with that distance, and he may try to make it a longer bout for that reason.
Now, Dave, there was Warren jabbing his way in. He's really forgetting to do that, isn't he? And that's part of the reason why he's not getting in effectively.
He got some good body shots in early in the fight without having to earn that way, and then he didn't go back to it at the end of the round. He needs to jab his way in, bob and weave his way in, and just get there.
A lot of holding by Gainer on the inside. Harold Warren a little low with that left hand. Gainer using his height and reach much better in this fight than I have seen him in the past.
And he seems to be able to pick off when Warren is going to fire.
Off the back of the
So
head.
he's not only using the reach as far as having it, but also the movement as well, which gives him the better angles in this fight.
Well, good straight left hand by Gainer. Harold Warren is always giving away height and reach, but boy, tonight, it's a huge difference.
He may have to climb a ladder to get inside on Gainer here. But it will be a good challenge for him.
Let him go. Step out.
At times, he will really get there.
More than halfway through. In fact, only a minute left to go in round 2, scheduled for 10. Harold Warren's NABF title is on the line. Now, there's Warren going downstairs, and it's too early to tell how much of a dividend that body work is going to pay for him.
Yeah, we had the graphic of about 7 punches landed by Warren in the first round, but they were very good quality. And here in round 2, whether he wins the round or not, these have also been good quality.
Rudy Battle warning him to get up off the hip, saying he's punching low. Gainer is moving away, making it tough for Warren to land that body shot. There's the hook from Warren. Now, Warren has a very good right hook.
And you know that that one got stored in the memory.
Yes. Good straight left hand by Derrick Gainer. Now, this is around. Boy, how low can Harold Warren get?
When you get a little bit too low, you can't punch.
Nice body work by Warren. This is a round that's going to be tough to judge. We'll see how the judges score it. Later on, of course, Vinny Pazienza and Roy Jones Jr., John Saraceno with the Tasmanian Devil.
Thanks, Al. We're relaxing here with Vinny Pazienza before his big fight. And Vinny, you watched hours of Roy Jones on tape, and you discovered something kind of interesting. What was that?
Well, he can play the piano, is what I really discovered, and I think that's very impressive. Watched a lot of his fights, you know, watching with Tony and Castro and Bernard Hopkins, of course, a friend of mine, but very talented. He doesn't like to get hit, and he doesn't get hit often, and that's what makes him effective. He fights very scary. He's afraid to get hit. He'll actually turn his face at times, you know, put his arms up, and that could be his undoing. You know, when I land on him, because I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to hit him hard. I want to see what happens to him. I want to see if he gets flustered. I want to see if he can handle the beef.
Thanks, Vinny. Back to Al.
All right. Well, Vinny Pazienza, even at this late date, not lacking for confidence. Where is the beef?
We're not too far away from finding out.
Yeah. We head into round 3. This one is scheduled for 12. In the last round, Derrick Gainer landed 8 jabs to only 3 for Harold Warren, but 8 out of 39. Not a good percentage for Gainer. I think he wants to land more jabs.
He's been outside, but Warren has been moving away. He wants to follow it up, but that jab was for show, and he set up a power shot.
Good left hand. I think Harold Warren was rocked momentarily, but he puts his arms up to say no.
Which really means yes.
Yeah, in boxing usually. When does no mean yes? We're in round 3, and young Derrick Gainer, who is so far performing better than I have ever seen him perform in his fights, against a veteran and a very good fighter in Harold Warren.
Not only utilizing his reach very well, but the balance is there by Gainer.
Derrick Gainer, one of 3 fighters in the Square Ring stable, the stable of Roy Jones Jr. that has him. Al Cole, the cruiserweight champion, will be taking on Uriah Grant a little bit later. Can I get through an entire broadcast, including the fight, without once saying Uriah Heep? Once I did that with the Uriah Grant's fight.
But now you're off the hook.
Good, I said it. Thank God.
That is a temptation. You know, usually when 2 lefties get together, you wonder if they're going to negate each other with their styles. This has been entertaining for basically 2 guys, although the height is different, with the mirror image style. The lefties, they've made for some fun here.
And when you toss in the height difference, it really makes for a tough matchup. Now, Derrick Gainer is doing all the right things in this round. I guess the only question is, can he do it over 12?
And can he build enough of a lead in the early rounds where if he has to hold on and just get through the late rounds, he's got these in the bank.
Harold Warren being kept at bay by Derrick Gainer. Gainer moving, Warren trying to cut the ring off. Harold, a 34-year-old veteran, fought Gennaro Hernandez for the junior lightweight title a couple years ago, went 12 rounds and lost a close decision. That was one of his fine efforts. Since then, his only loss has been to Freddie Liberatore in a fight that was very close. I thought he won it. The movement of Gainer giving him fits, Dave.
And not only giving him fits, when you look at the movement after he punches immediately, that 5-inch reach advantage becomes closer to 10. And it becomes that much harder for Warren to hit him. When Gainer punches and then is moving, he opens up a big gap, and Warren just comes to him after that, opens himself up.
Just seconds remaining here in round 3. Excellent counter-punching by Derrick Gainer to punctuate what for him has been a superb round of boxing. That'll do it for round 3. Round 4. This NABF championship match, they're both in black, but the man on the right, the shorter man, is Harold Warren, 34-year-old NABF featherweight champion. Young Derrick Gainer, 22-year-old, is the taller fighter, and they're the numbers in the last round from CompuBox.
And Gainer really extending his advantage there, double-digit lead and a 3-to-1 ratio for punches landed, and he is off to a flying start in this fight.
You know, I have to admit, coming into this fight, I really underestimated how much the height and reach advantage would benefit Derrick Gainer. I had never seen it be a problem for Harold Warren before, but boy, it has been tonight.
Gainer using it quite effectively and making it bigger. And you see here how Warren has to completely change his fight plan just to get close to Gainer. He has to lunge, he has to leave his gloves apart from his face, and he's open. He can't be balanced when he gets on top of Gainer.
So far, and it could change on a heartbeat because Harold Warren can punch, but so far Derrick Gainer is coming of age tonight. He's in against a man who, just as I said, just a couple of years ago, gave Gennaro Hernandez, the junior lightweight champion, all he could handle. That was in October of 1993.
And you can't help getting some feeling that you're watching the Roy Jones sparring sessions rub off here.
Very good point, Dave. I think that has had an impact on Derrick Gainer.
We're seeing some speed, agility, and balance that had not been there from him in previous fights. A tremendous knowledge of punch sequence and a confidence that hasn't been there in other times, and a little bit of that indomitable will here.
Now, Harold Warren, though, in this round, starting to get to that body with even more effectiveness. There is Gainer. He refuses to be trapped against the ropes or in the corners.
Warren trying to cut the ring off here, and Gainer always gets out. Interesting terminology by Alton Mergerson between rounds. When you come out of the clinch, drop something off.
Yeah. Now, all this movement, though, by Gainer eventually may annoy the crowd and may even annoy the judges because he really is moving a lot now. Now, somebody could come dangerously close to calling it running.
And it's a good point because in the first 3 rounds, when Gainer moved, it was more subtle. It was on angles.
I got to tell you something. Rudy Battle is doing something to Harold Warren that's really wrong. And Rudy is a good referee. He's pushing Harold Warren. Every time he warns him, he's pushing him back, putting his hands on him and really giving him a big shove like he's mad. That's not the way you handle fighters.
He might set up something bad off of a push. Gainer continues to try and make Warren come in, hoping to lure Warren into a trap.
Well, round 4 a lot closer than round 3.
Coming in there in the round, heads coming together with the wild styles as both fighters leaning forward, especially Warren here trying to get that edge inside.
All right, we head into round 5. Well, I euphemistically said that Gainer might be moving a little too much. Tony Ayala put it in more blunt terms, didn't he, in between the rounds?
He seemed to hint that Gainer was on the verge of setting a world record for the 440.
And he suggested that they want Gainer to win. Of course, he's urging his men on, and he may be just a little paranoid in that respect.
And he's also trying to pump his man up with some confidence to say, hey, he can't out-punch you, get inside. But Gainer has done a good job punching in this battle. He's got a 58-27 edge in total connects through the 4th round of the fight.
And it is interesting. I would guess that of those 27 punches by Harold Warren, and there's one right there, maybe number 28, that almost all of them are body punches.
He's gotten some very good quality, and we may not see the effects of that until far later. But Warren has this NABF title. He should be relaxing a little bit more, getting in without being flustered as much. Try to bob and weave a little bit more, move the head. Don't come straight up and get popped coming in.
Now, I believe there's a subtle change going on here. I think the movement of Derrick Gainer is a little more tentative in this round and less. Let's see if this is the round where Harold Warren starts to get to him a little bit. Nice combinations by Gainer.
Warren really has been trying to set up those body shots. Any less movement by Gainer, he will certainly welcome. The thing about Harold Warren, you can make him look awful for 4 rounds, yes, but don't stop punching.
That's a very good point, Dave. You and I have both seen that before. He reminds me a lot of Joe Frazier in that sense, in a way, because remember Joe Frazier? I remember the line in Sports Illustrated. They said you can beat the perimeters of this man, but you can't get to where his heart lives. But Gainer surely has boxed effectively. Now, there was a jab. Warren needs to keep jabbing his way and then follow with something.
Provided he can make sure that Gainer doesn't utilize the whole ring to run.
Rudy Battle, I got to tell you, Rudy's a fine referee, but man, he is manhandling Harold Warren all over the place. Gainer with the straight left hand. So Derrick Gainer continues to box effectively.
And another example of the reach. Warren got in one shot, and now Warren trying to make Gaynor come to him.
Let's talk. Let's box there.
Well, meanwhile, Rudy Battle warns Warren about talking. I got to tell you, I got to be honest. If I'm Harold Warren and I'm Tony Ayala, I'm thinking I better get a knockout here. You know what I mean? I'm from San Antonio.
And don't talk too loud either. That's the next thing.
Yeah. And yeah, whatever you do. Anyway, Derrick Gaynor still boxing very effectively. Let's take nothing away from that. He's done well here. They bang shoulders, and Rudy Battle, what else? He starts pushing Harold Warren around. That's normal.
Comes together, a little collision there. Rudy Battle separates. That was not an accident.
All right, nice and clean.
No, I don't think so. You are right, sir. We head into round 6.
What's the shoulder butt rule here?
I don't know. What round does it get stopped? The NABF Featherweight Championship is on the line. This is a 12-round fight. We are into round 6. Where Harold Warren stunned, I think, momentarily. Gaynor pushes him back for the first time in this fight. Derrick Gaynor fighting really an excellent fight.
The jab setting up the bomb by Gaynor. Wide angle shot there that he got away with despite missing because he drove Warren back. And look at Warren, unfazed despite being essentially undressed for the first 20 seconds of the round.
Derrick Gaynor boxing superbly. This young 22-year-old from Pensacola, Florida. He wandered into Roy Jones Jr.'s gym with a friend of his and said, I want to box, some years ago. And boy, he is boxing. He trained with Roy Jones Sr., Roy Jones Jr.'s dad, of course, who originally trained Jones. Gaynor having a superb 6th round. I mean, he is just getting it done here.
His balance has been superior, and his timing has been excellent. He knows when Warren is coming in, and he pops him with the right hand before Warren can get there.
Dave, you and I did the fight he had with Garcia. This is a different Derrick Gaynor.
The maturity level, and when you look at the fight coming in, he only had the last early knockout before this. Didn't really have the momentum, but he has made up quite a bit in the gym, and perhaps the tutelage of Alton Mergerson, the whole camp, a very successful camp, wearing off on the psyche of this fighter right here. He has won just about every exchange by a split second.
Yeah, good point. There was a left hand of Harold Warren, one of the few punches that has gotten in.
Warren needs to jump all over this. Gaynor stopped for a second. Warren also looked a little bit tired. Hey, and the turnabout is fair play. Gaynor getting a warning for holding behind the head.
Good body work by Warren. Rudy Battle talking to Gaynor with both. He pushes poor Harold Warren around all over the place. I don't know. He's a big man, Rudy Battle. He's not pushing Gaynor. I don't know why I'm on this tonight, but it just seems like he's pushing these guys a lot.
Just make sure it evens out at the end of the night.
I guess maybe if he starts pushing Gaynor around, it'll work. There's Warren landing the right hand to the body, but been a little bit better round for Harold Warren, but still good boxing by Derrick Gaynor. As round 6 comes to a close. Let's listen in as Alton Merkerson first has to go pick up the mouthpiece. If Gaynor fell out, I believe, and now he's going to come back to the corner.
I don't want you doing that. Okay, I don't want you doing that. Sit down on your jab and your right hand. Left hand, okay? Don't take off like that no more. You understand? Yes, sir. Cool him down. Let me down.
Well, Gaynor with an extraordinary edge in round 6, and that is the ultimate example of the reach being utilized there.
That would be the total jabs, I believe, throughout the fight.
50-8 through round 6. What dominance, consistency for 6 rounds with that shot by Gaynor.
Stay in your corner.
We're heading into round 7. That's Harold Warren, who has had a tough go tonight.
Round 7, nice and clean. Nice.
Rudy Battle urging both fighters to keep it nice and clean. It's scheduled for 12. Harold Warren, the 34-year-old veteran who has the NABF crown, the shorter fighter. Derrick Gainer, the 22-year-old who wants the crown, is the taller youngster who is a 22-year-old.
Gainer being extremely busy here. The jab going downstairs. Good situational fighting all the time for him.
This is by far the best Derrick Gainer has ever looked as a pro. I mean, he has put it all together here tonight.
Turn him loose. Let him go. Step out. Step out.
Against an opponent who is quite good. And he's making Harold Warren look bad tonight.
Making Harold Warren get out of his rhythm and lunge. Give up the things that Harold Warren likes to do best. He's making Harold Warren gamble before Warren wants to.
Get off him, all right, break out, break out.
And he's been smart enough in recent developments here when Warren does get inside to try and tie up. If he does that, he totally nullifies all the good work that Warren did by getting inside.
Warren working to the body again on the inside.
And when you talk about the reach, some people are not impressed by it because they say if you slip a punch, you take away the reach. Well, Warren has not been able to slip the punches because Gainer has had them right there, and by being sharp, he has kept his reach intact.
And when he does, Gainer holds on the inside. Now, you can make a case in this fight for two things. Rudy Battle's trying to make a case for Warren's low blows, but you can make a case for Gainer's holding as well, for a point being taken away at some point.
Especially if the pattern becomes more and more obvious.
Under a minute left to go in round 7. Warren walks into a right hand, but lands a hook, and it's becoming very much a wrestling match now. Every time Warren gets in, and the reason it is because Warren is getting on the inside more often. Good uppercut by Gainer. Warren leaving himself wide open as he comes in. He wants this, Warren, but he's not getting the better of it. Finally, though, he nails Gainer with some good shots.
Warren finally able to square up as he came inside and got some good leverage on both sides.
Now, is this willingness to exchange by Gainer a good plan on his part? Excellent right hook. Or is it just that Gainer's slowing down?
And does he have a choice at some point? If Warren gets inside at some point, Gainer has to establish his ability to at least trade on even terms for a while.
So in round 7, more of same. Get ready for round 8. Derrick Gainer, the taller fighter, against Harold Warren. Wow, Gainer is just pulling away in terms of numbers landed.
And that doesn't happen to Harold Warren very much, as Gainer on top of his game. And following up on what Vinny Pazienza said about Roy Jones fighting scary, quick, but doesn't want to get hit, you see a lot of that aspect, too, in the way Gainer is fighting here. He punches and he spins away.
Very good point. Now, that time they were able to fight out of that clinch. Battle didn't have to come in. Gainer has been 12 rounds one time and won over Julian Flores. Harold Warren won the NABF title by going 12 against Daryl Pinckney. He won 10 his last time and beating Hector Chong, a pretty good fighter. So we'll see as this fight wears on if in fact any fatigue hits Derrick Gainer. So far, it's been Gainer all the way, and Harold Warren is almost in a situation where he's got to make something big happen.
And you talked last round about the possibility for holding and making a case. Rudy Battle has twice, as you take a look at Roy Jones observing his stablemate, Rudy Battle has twice issued a warning this round to Gainer for holding.
Well, as he watches Gainer, he watches in a way a mirror image of himself, except the lefty at a lighter weight. Certainly the same style that Roy Jones employs. Harold Warren really having a hard time landing. The most I've ever seen. A big uppercut by Gainer, but doesn't affect Warren. Harold just keeps coming, but it lands points.
And it did get him out of the corner.
Great jabs by Derrick Gainer. And he has continued the movement throughout.
And he shows different looks. Sometimes he moves laterally. Here he's moving in fairly sizable circles. After then he circles around and lands the shot.
if you have tremendous foot speed, you can get away with taking bigger circular steps because then you can dart back into the action more quickly.
Well, a lot of boxing observers here they talked to this week had the feeling that Harold Warren was a little too experienced and a little bit too tough a fighter for Derrick Gainer. But so far, Derrick Gainer has shocked many here at ringside with the fact that he's been so poised and able to handle Warren so easily. Oh my, he may have hurt Warren with that overhand left. Derrick Gainer is just boxing up a storm here. I mean, he's moving, he's jabbing, landing power shots. There's not much he's not doing. He literally runs away. Now, that didn't look too good. And that's the kind of thing, in my opinion, that will lead people to be mad at him for his movement.
Get over it. All right, all right. How do you feel, champ? Feel good, man. All right. Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Harold. Losing the fight. Yeah, I know. I know it. I know it. What's wrong with this around him? Hey. You're not going to win the fight. You can rub him up, hit him low.
Well, here's Gainer's all-star performance in round 8. The big shot from the outside, and then the balance as he punches down low and gets away quickly. Another look at it. Gainer's tremendous shot there from the outside. Notice the spin as soon as he gets the punch off. It's a punching and moving doubleheader at the same time that goes on. And between rounds, Tony Ayala subtly reading the right act to Harold Warren, saying, "You are losing this fight."
And he is correct, and Harold Warren even agreeing with him. So, a combination of the physique of these two fighters, the speed of Gainer, and the apparently ending up bad style matchup not working for Harold Warren, and the accuracy of Gainer's punches, as you see there.
Nice percentage by Gainer and keeping Warren's numbers extremely low. You've got the reach of Gainer made larger by his selective use of speed. And Warren just can't get near him.
Harold Warren slipped.
Come on. Let's stop.
Harold Warren hurt his ankle. Harold Warren saying to Rudy Battle, "I gotta fight you and I gotta fight Derrick Gainer." Now, was that from a push?
But I can't fight you in. All right, let's go.
Harold Warren says, "Let me fight." He twisted his ankle.
He seemed to think that Rudy Battle had been involved in the twisting of his ankle and said words to that effect to him. Said, "I can't fight you and him." It's been frustrating for Warren.
And you know why? You know why a referee would accept those kind of words from Harold Warren and not some other fighter? They know he's not a complainer by nature. But I'll tell you what, one thing you got to say, it's Derrick Gainer that's doing it in there. Even if Rudy Battle has done a few things that maybe Harold Warren can take issue with, Derrick Gainer has boxed very, very well.
You're really seeing the intangible benefits of his maturing process, his speed, his good use of the angles.
I'm going to tell you something interesting. Subtly there, what Warren said worked on Rudy Battle. That time when he broke him, he didn't push Warren away. He just broke him like you normally break fighters.
Talk about arguing effectively so you get the next call. And that's basically what he was able to do. And he did not do it in a cheap shot type of manner.
Really
and that's why it was accepted in the proper context.
Now, here's Warren. Now, let me tell you, when he fought Daryl Pinckney, he did this, but he's done it too late here. He started boxing. When he fought Pinckney, he was having trouble getting in. He boxed and made him come to him. Now he's doing it. Probably 4 or 5 rounds too late. See, now Gainer's coming to him, which Gainer doesn't have to do because he's ahead in this fight. Now let's see if Warren can counterpunch. Good move by Harold Warren, maybe a little late.
And what may have prevented him doing this sooner is he got some good body shots in and was trying to really get the power game started.
Well, this round comes to a conclusion.
Between them, he'll separate them. Push them back.
Well, let me say this. On the surface, it doesn't look like Rudy Battle had a role in that. But I got to tell you, he still pushed Harold Warren a little too far.
Stay back in your
I mean, I'm not saying he pushed him hard there, but I think that part of the reason why Harold Warren goes back so far and can't get his balance is because Rudy Battle pushed him back pretty far. And that is why Harold Warren was mad at Rudy Battle. Well, anyway, we head into round 10, and believe me, I have no axe to grind with Rudy Battle. By and large, he's been a very excellent referee over the years, but like many referees now, he's putting his hand on small fighters. These are small fighters. These are not big guys. It's not like you're in there with Jorge Gonzalez and Riddick Bowe. We're into round 10. Al Bernstein with Dave Bontempo. Coming up later on, of course, Vinny Pazienza and Roy Jones Jr. Of course, we got Sam Rosen up there hosting. John Saraceno is in the locker rooms. We have an all-star cast here.
And we're just getting started.
Oh, man. And Phil Berger scoring.
All right, now break out, break out. Let him loose, let him go, step back.
We're teeing it up for what we think is going to be a very entertaining evening. So far, it has been so for Derrick Gainer, the youngster from Pensacola, Florida, who looks like he may be on his way to winning the NABF featherweight title.
Well, this is the stage of the fight where he would meet the resistance, and so far he seems to be gliding through it.
All right, now here I am. Let him go. Step back. Step back.
Almost halfway through round 10. Warren gets in a left to the head. You can count on one finger maybe the good headshots Warren has landed in this bout.
And he always has to taste the jab on the way in, and then hustle himself up to try and get close, so he leaves himself open. If Gainer is nowhere, then he's everywhere.
Get off his head.
It is a wonderful boxing performance by Derrick Gainer. He's fast, he's elusive, he's landing good shots. Really, a fighter like this is Harold Warren's worst nightmare.
And the type of a fast fighter who keeps his balance when he's running as well. Sometimes when guys move, they lose their agility and can be caught.
That's a very good point, and Derrick Gainer gets leverage when he punches. Under a minute left to go here in round 10. It is scheduled for 12. Next up on our hit parade, Larry Barnes, one of the top welterweights in the world, is going to be taking on Jeff Pissarro.
In this round, Gainer is using more of the ring than he has in previous rounds. As he is coming up against the fatigue wall, which is natural here, is circling more, going post to post, holding more, and has been less inclined to battle it out here.
Well, Derrick looked down at us and was chatting with us for a second, so he's pretty confident. I don't know what he said, but Harold says, how about coming right here for a change? Gainer looks at him and says, no, I don't think so. Well, if there ever was a frustrated warrior, it was Harold Warren, but this man, Roy Jones Jr., you'll be seeing later, pretty happy about the turn of events. Alton Murchison in the corner of Gainer.
Do what you gotta do. We can do that after the fight. You understand? Okay, let's go. Give me 4 deep breaths. 4. You got this guy waving coming in now. Keep getting them angles. If you come across with the left hand, as soon as he turns, come back with the right. Come back with the right, okay?
How many reps is that?
Yeah.
How many was it?
What?
How many reps it took?
You took 4. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. Okay?
Well, Gainer has been on the front end throughout this fight, making Warren miss wildly and then just letting him taste the jab. Fades back, misses from Warren, and gets him to pay again.
Stay back in this corner.
We head into round 11, and you heard Alton Murchison kind of give a little lecture to Derrick Gainer for some of the showboating at the end. He said that we can do that after the fight.
Well, very important point. He doesn't want Gainer to get ahead of himself here with 2 rounds to go.
Phil Berger, who is with us and is scoring, will tell us how his scoring is going.
Well, Al, you guys have been reporting it, and I'm reiterating it. Derrick Gainer is blowing the champion out. I've got him after 10 rounds up 100-90, winning every round on my unofficial scorecard.
Shutout, says Phil Berger.
Gainer with a 95-11 edge in jabs through 10. And the way he's using this ring, you just know they couldn't make a ring too big for this guy.
I like that. It's a good term, really. It's impossible. He would fight in the Astrodome if he had to, wouldn't he? We're in round 11. 2 minutes left to go in this round. Both men have gone 12 before. Gainer has been there once, as has Harold Warren. Both men won in their journey to 12. Well, actually, Warren went 12 once before. He's been 12 twice. He lost to Gennaro Hernandez back in '93 for the junior lightweight championship. Warren, a man who thought he might be positioned for a championship, a world championship in the featherweight division. Tom Boom Boom Johnson, one of the people with the IBF title holder. Now Derrick Gainer, perhaps, looking to fight Tom Boom Boom Johnson, among others.
And he's not only managed to get way out in front of this fight, but do it impressively, too.
Well, if they're watching him, if the people that make rankings and talk about championship fights are watching him, they have to be pretty impressed with Derrick Gainer.
Showing a lot of intangibles here. Punching, coming back to the side, squaring up. He hasn't been out of position in this fight. And usually, over the course of a 12-round fight, you'll find a soft stretch in there for guys. And Gainer hasn't had that soft stretch.
Hector Acero Sanchez is another champion who Derrick Gainer might be looking to. He a counter-punching genius. Who would move forward in that fight?
I would give Gainer the edge in that fight. Acero Sanchez got a gift draw in his last battle in June at the Foxwoods. Really got something against Daniel Zaragoza. He would have to get back off of that effort very motivated.
All right, now Nelson Rodriguez, who's working on the international broadcast, just looked at me, and I think he wants at you, Dave, because he's Hector Acero Sanchez's manager.
I know what the kibosh looks like.
Don't turn your back, really. Round 11 has come to a close.
But I knew that before.
You're a man of conviction. I like that.
That he has shown toward Rudy Battle. Has been out of his own frustration, as well as he has been undressed throughout this entire fight.
Well, Derrick Gainer pushed him down. That's actually one of the tactics that they're not happy with. But there's no question. It has ended up being a very bad style matchup, physical matchup for Harold Warren, and Derrick Gainer has simply come of age. This is the absolute best by far we've ever seen him perform. We're in the 12th round of this NABF championship. Good straight left hand by Gainer. I'm Al Bernstein along with Dave Von Temple. Sam Rosen is way up top here at the convention center, looking down at us like a king. I see him up there. John Saraceno's in the locker room. Phil Berger is scoring with us here at ringside. We've got a whole group together with our producer Frank Belmont and director John Gallagher, and we are just having a ball.
It is a party here. Gainer putting the exclamation point on it right here. Everything he's doing here has been on the mark.
Under 2 minutes left to go here in round 12, the final round in this NABF Featherweight Championship. And young Derrick Gainer, at 22 years of age, with his manager and mentor, Roy Jones Jr., looking on, is making him proud.
This is one of the few times a guy loses to a southpaw and he can't complain about it.
Yeah, when you are a southpaw, it's tough.
You hear that after every time a southpaw beats somebody with the awkward style. I never adjusted to a southpaw style. He threw me off. I couldn't really get there. And Warren just has had no answer for the reach, which has been utilized supremely tonight by Gainer.
I have to tell you, while I appreciate the youthful exuberance and the ability of Gainer before this fight, I am astonished he's been able to handle Harold Warren this way. And the reason is simple. This is a different Derrick Gainer than we saw. A better conditioned Derrick Gainer, a more precise punching Derrick Gainer.
Better balanced Derrick Gainer.
That's the other thing.
And Warren's on his game. That's hard to see right now,
Good
but
point
it is there.
You think he's fighting badly and not necessarily. All the holding of Gaynor has really disrupted Warren. That's maybe the only area where I got to say he might have a legitimate beef, because if the holding is stopped earlier in the fight, maybe Harold Warren gets into his rhythm a little better. I have to say honestly, I would have taken a point away from Gaynor for holding at some point during this fight, but it's a judgment call. Still, he's not holding there, boy. He is whacking Harold Warren from the outside. Warren says, give me some more, but Gaynor's making some points. So in round 12, Derrick Gaynor puts an exclamation point on what for him was a superb performance. Harold Warren posturing a little, but really that man, Derrick Gaynor, is likely to be the winner. At 22 years of age, he makes his mentor, Roy Jones Jr., happy. Jones heading back to the locker room to prepare for his fight.
Harold Warren went for the bear hug after the fight to congratulate Gaynor. Gaynor went right by him, went right to the corner, and walked up the ring post.
As Roy Jones Jr., as he leaves the arena, or at least maybe he's coming up to congratulate Derrick Gaynor.
Y'all gonna strike me. Good bout, man. Good bout. But I am the champion. Get his gloves out.
You talk about rationalizing it. Harold Warren has conceded, but he said you got it by running. That tells some of the story, but not nearly all of it.
That's true, and Roy Jones Jr. very, very happy with his protege.
Let me get his gloves, Smoke.
Fred Levin in the ring there, talking. And for Derrick Gaynor, as we await the scorecards being tabulated, it would look for all the world like he has won the NABF featherweight title and has notched yet another victory in his professional career. His 14th it would be. He has 7 KOs among his 13 wins. Happy young man. When we visited with him this morning, he looked like he was confident that he would do well. Not braggadocious, but confident.
A quiet confidence, his interplay with Roy Jones.
Michael Buffer is in the center of the ring. He has a decision. Let's go to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Sean Curtin scores the bout 116 to 112. John Stewart has it 118 to 110, and Al DeVito has it 119 to 109 for the winner by unanimous decision. And new NABF featherweight champion, Derrick "Smoke" Gaynor.
So Derrick Gaynor wins the NABF featherweight championship with a unanimous decision, even though one of the cards might be a little closer than we would have imagined. Still, a very, very fine win for that young man, Derrick Gaynor, who showed something more than we'd seen before.
Really, his coming out party tonight. Excellent lateral movement. Did just about everything right, and Harold Warren accepting some praise, and there's Gaynor. Basically, he grew in stature tonight.
So a good win for him, a tough loss for Harold Warren, the veteran who may not have enough time left in his career to climb back to world championship as he wants.
A scheduled 10-rounder, a welterweight, Larry Barnes going against Jeff Passero. For Larry Barnes, a fight for exposure as he gets set to meet Felix Trinidad later this summer as for the welterweight championship of the IBF. Jeff Passero, a stalking horse for Larry Barnes. It should be an interesting bout as we